All right, what is going on YouTube? It's Matt back here again. So what I wanted to do in this video is to discuss things that you need to be doing in your 20s if you wanted to be wealthy in your 30s. Now, what I'm not talking about here is people that get to 60, have their retirement plans, and are well off. I'm talking about if you actually want to have a significant amount of wealth in your 30s, what you will have to do in your 20s in order to reach that. I did reach the 100 grand mark when I was 24. Should be able to double that here at 25. So it's, things have not gone too bad. Just kind of wanted to have my experience here as far as, how I was able to do that, how other people can do that, and sort of just kind of help the narrative for people that are trying to get in a better financial situation. So before I really get into this video, I want to preface some things that you're going to be needing to do and to prioritize if you want this to happen. Number one is going to be the opportunity cost of this, because generally in the beginning of anything, when you're in your 20s starting, toward that financial freedom goal, you're going to have to be giving up things at more of an accelerated rate than someone that starts, let's say, at 30 or 40 and they're already a little bit well off. So let's say, for example, if you're in your 20s, you're trying to get rich in your 30s, that kind of thing, you're going to be needing to give up a lot more than someone who is already starting when they are 40 and already has a backing financially. So realize the opportunity cost, and this is, less time with family, less time with friends, less time with loved ones. You're going to be a lot more disciplined, down to the grind if you actually want this to happen and you're starting earlier. So the next thing that I want to get into is start reading up on books and literature. This is one of the big things that I see not a lot of people my age, and I'm 25, doing. They don't really read finance books. They don't really know how money works and how it can be leveraged as a tool. They just see it more of a thing to use and get and pay the bills every single month, which is fine. But if you're looking to sort of get on this journey towards that, you need to think of it in a different light. Think of money as a tool, something that I can be getting, putting out into other things that are going to grow, putting out into a business, leveraging it with other people to get them to do things that's going to grow, your portfolio. So along with that topic, learn higher ticket skills earlier on in life, because let's say, for example, two salesmen, one person sells copiers and the other person sells robots for a giant hardware company or something like that. The person that's going to be doing the robots is going to be making a little bit more, a lot more actually, because they're selling higher ticket items. So they would have to sell one robot, whereas a person might have to sell like 30 copiers to equal one robot. These are, just examples, but I'm saying the quicker that you can get into higher ticket items and the more money you're going to be able to generate at a quicker amount of time for essentially the same work. If you're going to close a sale versus close another sale, sometimes they can be sort of the same. So if you're able to do that bigger ticket item at a faster rate, you will grow sooner. So I am now about to get into sort of the things that people should be doing in their 20s. But, just to sort of re-emphasize this again, this video is for people who want to see these results in their 30s to have a great life earlier. This is not for people that are going to be waiting until 40s, 50s, 60s. Either or is great, but this is what the people in their 20s should be doing if you want to see that growth in your 30s. Number one, and this is going to be the biggest thing that's going to contribute to it, is increase your money year over year. So every single year, you should either be looking to get a higher paying job in a higher paying field, or get and stack on raises over time. Now, I'm not talking about 3% raises, because this isn't going to help you all too much unless you're already making a significant amount of money. I'm talking about jumping into something else, getting your experience, leveraging that into something that is a more higher ticket item, and increasing your money year over year. So number two is going to be offset expenses. This can be, if you're owning a home, this is what I do. You just rent out rooms a lot of the time, because that can offset your expenses a good amount. That is one thing to do. Finding extra like cable bills you don't use, other kind of things, cutting them out, finding ways to decrease your costs. That way will go a long way. And usually only takes about an hour or two to do, to really just go through your bill list, figure out what you can cut back on and what you can kind of tailor to, help yourself. Number three is going to be find a side hustle in your spare time. So anytime that you're really not working your main job, find something to do. Either, something about growing a business, something starting small, something that you can work on kind of on the side that's going to grow sometime, or something that's just going to give you a little bit of extra cash, like bartending, those kind of things just in the meantime. And then just invest everything that you get from that So anything that's extra, just go ahead and store it in, like an individual brokerage account, something like that, to where you can invest it. It's just going to grow slowly over time. It starts off very slow, but if you just become very religious with this and very like meticulous into putting into that account, it does compound rather quickly. What I do with this is I have done athletic training shifts, other kinds of things, like that athletic training is like a sports medicine kind of shift. So I've done that, and then I've just been able to store everything that I've done from that into a brokerage account, and now that's actually grown to a significant amount. Now this one is this comes from like Rich Dad Poor Dad, if anyone has read this, but just invest in assets and not liabilities. So really, when you're thinking of anything, when you're going to make a purchase, anything like that, just think, is this something that's going to be helping out, my future self down the road? And if it is, go ahead and buy it. If not, steer away from it. If you could put, at least 75% of your time into the asset class versus the liability class, that's going to be helping you out tremendously down the road. A lot of people my age in the 20s do not do that. They just kind of still go out, drink, party, all that stuff, and just kind of like piss money away at this point. So anytime you're making a big purchase, think about what it's going to impact you down the line. This is a bigger one than you'd think, but find a partner that will support you and help you reach your goals, and you two will be able to mesh together and work together. This becomes a big problem for people, like partners that don't help them reach their goals. If you could find a partner and everything's great, you're romantically involved, and they will also support you along your own financial journey and kind of have the same goals as you, that is amazing. That is very hard to find. Don't settle until you find that, and definitely don't settle down with someone that doesn't have the same views as you on that, on finances, because that's just not going to go well down the line. So if you can start implementing these kind of things into your daily routine, just really analyzing everything you're doing from, a financial standpoint, to just make sure that you grow year over year and you kind of compound that growth, you will be in a good spot into your 30s. Make sure that, you're doing all these things religiously, and you're definitely going to be able to prosper in your 30s and have an easier life than a lot of people would.